He'd been trailing behind his teammate on the timesheets, but 90 minutes into the final day of winter testing, Lewis Hamilton put in the fastest lap of pre-season on the medium tyres. While Sebastian Vettel took his turn to try out the new Halo cockpit concept on the Ferrari. But it was off-track news that was grabbing the headlines in the Barcelona paddock. After toing and froing, it had finally been announced that the new qualifying format would be brought in at the first race in Australia in just over 2 weeks' time, despite the drivers voicing their concerns to the governing body in a meeting in the paddock on Wednesday evening. All 22 drivers will go into the first 16-minute session, where the slowest car after 7 minutes will be eliminated. And this will continue every 90 seconds until there are 15 cars left. They go into a second session, where the cut-off will be at 6 minutes. The slowest car is eliminated, and that continues every 90 seconds until just 8 cars remain. So instead of a top 10 shootout, it's now a top 8 elimination. The 14-minute Q3 will have a cut-off at 5 minutes, where the slowest driver will be knocked out, and that will be repeated every 90 seconds until only the pole sitter remains.
I think there's been some good formats and there's been some okay formats. I've generally enjoyed the format of the last few years, so that's why it doesn't make sense to me in my head right now of the changes they've made. But you know, don't knock it till you try it. So we'll get there and see how it goes, and then immediately you'll get comments from the fans whether it's good or not.
You will still have 1 lap on the tire, and you will just need to time it with your team and make sure you put the lap together. That's it, really. The rest, Mercedes will still beat us all, Ferrari will still be second. I think it will not change that much the order.
I think Formula One is doing fine in the background. I think, yeah, the decisions lately and so on, it is fair to say that it's lacking leadership. I think it's, yeah, a little bit chaotic if a couple of weeks before the season you start to reinvent certain rules and formats of qualifying, as has been discussed the last couple of weeks. So I'm not a fan, personally not a fan of the qualifying, and I think speaking on behalf of all the drivers, no driver is.
On track, it took 8 days and over 3,500 miles, but eventually the Mercedes W07 stopped. A transmission failure ending Lewis Hamilton's morning of testing. Nico Rosberg took over for the afternoon's running, but again concentrated on the medium tyre, which meant Ferrari ended pre-season with the 2 fastest times seen all winter, but not knowing what Mercedes could have done had they used those super soft and ultra soft tyres. Rachel Brooks, Sky Sports.